let me press record for the people who can't make it. So this will be a weekly thing. We'll go through a little piece of the curriculum. We'll go through your questions as they pertain to music licensing, as they pertain to things that we're working on, and we'll get to know each other. And you guys will work together and create stuff together, and it's incredibly powerful. As you guys saw, so many people have gotten licenses through working together and having that mindset together, and you see how it makes such a difference. And so
hey,
let's see.
Can I ask a real quick question? Is this going to be the same time and the same day every week for you?
Yes, we might change it just because I'm trying to figure out the best time for our schedule here at Catch the Moon to like have a weekly recurring thing, but it's going, once we get the right one, it'll be the same recurring. All right. So let's first just talk about the assignment and get that out of the way, and then start there with any questions you guys have and move forward. So the assignment, every month you're going to get an assignment for a type of song that we're asked for all the time. And you're going to learn about, we're going to talk about universal lyrics this time. That's what this session will be all about. And by a show of hands, how many of you guys understand the concept of universal lyrics as it pertains to licensing? Okay, cool. So we'll just do a quick review, but a lot of you guys have a good idea around that. And I think the biggest thing to keep in mind when we're talking about universal lyrics is why we have universal lyrics, and how it's not just about creating something that applies to anybody, but it's something that is meaningful at the same time. So you're filling a need, you're talking about something that we're all going through, and you're finding a way that everybody can relate to it in a real and powerful way. And that's the ones that kind of set it apart, so that you're going to get the placement, you're going to get the license, because there's something there. Just like any of you guys want to listen to something that has meaning, that has substance, that has something that makes you want to hear it again. And that's just an important aspect to keep in mind. So this assignment is around let's go. Doesn't mean you have to use the words let's go. It means you need to have a universal theme around the idea of let's go, let's do this, we can get there. We're going to take on the world. So how creative can you be, and yet also simple in telling that story and being authentic in delivering something like that? And you guys can listen to other commercials and some of my Monday music breakdowns and see that this is a theme that comes up all the time, but it doesn't mean that they're like using the word let's go all the time. So every month you guys can get together with other people, you can create this song, and you'll be turning it into us. And so you'll have a chance for us to sign it if we like it, but more so it's for you to use for your EP. So the first months of this is for you to have an EP and pitch that you can get licensing agents to get behind, that you can get Catch the Moon to get behind, and that you have a body of work that you are like, this is workable. And then you move forward and you learn how to pitch it, and you learn who the players are, and you'll be learning that the whole time too. So are there any questions so far? I see like people are raising their hands, and that's very cool. And so
how do we do the hand raise again?
I actually, I think it has something to do with the more button. Since I'm a host, I don't actually have that. Okay.
Participants underneath in the middle of your screen where it says participants, and click on that. It should show up on the right-hand side near like above the chat.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. So let me just go through the hands. We've got Phil and Angela. Let's go first.
Okay.
So you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Okay, just
okay, today he's busy, but so I wanted to ask, I've been working on a song like ever since the challenge. I had a little idea that's kind of similar to this theme, let's go, and but it's like a little bit more of a metaphor, and it's like time to fly. Like, would that be something that would work for this assignment, or should I be more specific to like the words? I know you said it doesn't have to be exactly let's go, but I don't want to get too I just want to make sure it's still licensable if it's like something similar.
Yeah, I would say that's exactly what I'm saying, is that you're okay, interpreting it in your own words. I just wouldn't get like too, that sometimes we get like too on the nose or too sappy or too sweet in our lyrical delivery or even the lyrics that we use. So Time to Fly, you want to keep it cool and keep it fresh.
Okay.
But
Cool.
it's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going the list that I have here of hands. There's a lot of hands. Lori?
Okay. Hi. I guess my question is, I have the lyric idea, and then I have two different music ideas. And one is, very they're both upbeat, but one is sort of sweet and upbeat. You might want to call it Americana genre. The other one is more hipster, urban, and minor key. So both are upbeat, but one's a very major key and one's a minor hip key. And I can use the lyrics with both of them. And I guess I wondered what any kind of review ahead of time of the quick demo to which one should I work on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, which one should I go with?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think you could make both of those cool. So if you're shooting for an ad, they don't always use minor. So minor would have to be like super cool, and it'd have to be upbeat, and it'd have to have something. I mean, not have to, there's always exceptions. I'm talking in generalizations, obviously, but you want to have something that is going to work for an ad. And like, Let's Go is something that, we're kind of shooting for an ad with that. And I like the idea of a cool, fresh minor thing, but it would have to really be driving and fresh sounding and have some momentum behind it.
Okay, it's almost like, and just to give you a better example, one is almost like it could be for more of the, more of a laundry detergent type commercial, and the other one would be more for like a Nike ad. If that kind of sums up,
right? I think that's
saying?
up to you, though. I mean, like, Nike ad would work with they both could work for a lot of other kind of brands. So one is like, I think maybe push your boundaries a little bit, go for the Nike, but both are totally acceptable. And I think it has to do what's going to have the stronger hook, because you're going to be singing different melody over each of them. Which one's going to have your strongest hook? Which one's going to feel like the most authentic delivery is going to happen if you're going to be singing it, and you're going to feel most passionate about, and not so much about what one is going to get licensed, but where am I going to like really shine the most?
Okay, that's very good direction. Thank you. That helps a lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, Carolee?
Okay, I guess I have to unmute myself. Hi.
Hi.
Gosh, I've been sitting here trying to think like how to phrase this question, because I don't know if anybody else in this whole group is struggling with the same thing that I am.
Probably.
I'm excited. Okay, let me try to articulate this. So I'm a lyricist, okay? But I am really, my niche or my expertise is mostly at like the hook and the melody. And I usually come across the hook first. So, but my problem is that I'm not a musician. I'm not I don't write music. And the way I get inspired is by hearing music. Like,
right,
if somebody
having a track or something to write.
Yeah, having a track, and then I just go to work, and like I just get into my head and I just go. And so what I've been having a hard time doing is all these years just trying to connect to the right people for the right music. I mean, I'm glad that I'm getting more like centered down with like doing this for placements, because this is even better. But I kind of wanted to say this across the group, like, if you have really great music for this thing, like, try me out with your track, because I need that part to be inspired and do what I do. So because I don't really know where to go with this, except to put on there that, some of the music I've done in the past, that I've done for other people that have given me their tracks and that I've written for.
Okay, so that is, I think a lot of people will relate to that. And what you're talking about is like top lining. So you're looking for tracks to top line to, because that's what like inspires you. And I think like, why don't you post to the page, because there's so many people there. And actually what I would say to all of you is make an intro video. Has anybody asked you guys to do an intro video yet?
Yeah, a lot of people have
done them already?
Yeah, have done them. Yeah.
Okay. So I would put your intro video and then, or a blip that says like, looking for tracks, and this is like a link to my work, and I would love to collaborate, because that's what happens in this group. So people are collaborating. That's part of the power here, is that you've got like-minded people learning the same thing with different strengths coming together. So producers in here who aren't songwriters, in melody, like, you're going to fit great with them, and they're in here. So I think
I just needed to know how to say it. Like, you're kind of giving me those right words for it, because it's like I'm trying to explain it, but I'm like, I don't think that I'm communicating this properly.
Yeah, you're looking for a producer
tracks.
or tracks so that you can write melody and lyrics to, the top line to, for placement centered or focused music in the group.
This might sound like a stupid question, but can you articulate to me exactly what a producer does? Because I need to know if that's a part that I already do too. So I'm not really
producer,
sure.
In terms of how I'm saying it here, is somebody who's like behind the computer or plays all the instruments into the computer, records all of them. A producer could be your co-writer, and then he's going to, or she's going to go and turn it into the music behind this. The producer's not singing, unless they're also a singer and producer and songwriter. A producer can be lots of things, but if you're just producing, then you're creating this music, the bed of music that the song is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so
good.
Your lyrics and your melody go on top of, you need a producer who does tracks, because you're not coming with a song. You're not like, here's my song, can you produce my song? You're looking for somebody who already has tracks and is like, can I write to stuff you already have?
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Hey, Sonnet. This is Jeff Rodine.
Hi.
Hello. Not to just interrupt, but I remember the videos we did in the first class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's done those. I think everybody's done.
Okay. Okay, cool. I was like, I didn't see those, so that's good. Thanks. Thought I was going crazy.
With just like links to music.
So this is what I would love everybody to do, is do an intro video. Like, go on Facebook Live into the group class and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so. These are my strengths. And this is what I'm so excited about doing and working on here. This is the kind of music I love. Links to my website, whatever it is you want to say. Be vulnerable and real, and keep it short, because there's going to be hundreds of them. But this way people can kind of like get an idea of who you are, and you can start talking and commenting on each other and getting to know each other as a group.
Yeah, and I think it also helps with just, believe it or not, getting the vibe of the person.
Yeah, totally. And also just getting over that.
A little bit more,
that first initial posting to the group too. Like, everybody's doing it, so it's hard in the beginning, but then you're just going to do it. And, Okay, so everybody on this call, which there are 80 people, so at least 80 people are going to do that today or tomorrow. All right, so I'm just going down this list again. Like I said, I don't know if it's in order, but it looks like it's probably in alphabetical order. But okay, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hi. My name is Brian Houston. I live in Belfast, Ireland.
Hi.
How are you? So it's pretty late here tonight. It's 10:20.
Oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And cold?
It's not bad. It's been a very mild winter, so.
Oh, nice.
But it's gone down to 0 tonight, so people are keeping the heating on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, engineer. I've made a lot of records, and I've toured the world, several other places. And I've kind of made a living from music for a good long while. I've never targeted my music at advertisements or movies or, anything like that. The reason I took the course was because I've literally just made the music that I enjoyed, literally being the artist.
You just went mute on us. Oh, wait, let me unmute you somehow. Okay, say it again.
His finger out of his face, too.
Yeah, your fingers over your face. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I look better that way.
Yeah, without the
that's
finger.
better.
Yeah, so I've never really targeted music at anything in particular. I've just been literally the artist, just made the music I wanted to make, and made a living at it. But probably, as most people realize now, the music industry is getting harder, and people aren't buying albums the way they used to. So we all have to find different ways to make our music earn us a living, which is why I signed up to this.
Yeah, it's powerful and it's true. I mean, people who've been doing this with us for a while are having good placements come in, and it's not just about those placements, it's about the people that you meet and the music that you create that's even more that can be used in a lot of different ways. So you're in the right place.
Regarding the song or the placement, Let's Go, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't, the phrase Let's Go doesn't say anything to me. Can you put more meat on the bones regarding that?
Yeah, and then also like that's your job to put like how can you, and this is something that's going to come up a lot, how can you look at this universal thought and make it have meaning to you? So let's go, that could be like let's go for it, let's reach the stars, let's jump off the bridge, let's take a risk, let's take, show our hearts, and like there's so many different, it means whatever you can, like what are you, how are you going to digest that? And then if you were talking with your guy friends or like your group of friends and you were like, all right, like we've got a great plan and now we're going to execute it, so let's give it our all, and like this, everything's on the line right now and we're going to make it happen. So you feel that like everybody in this group, you're like, okay, this is our first month, we've got a year here, so like let's do this, like everything that we've got. So how can you say that in another way that's really meaningful to you?
And how do we get the songs or the ideas to you guys for feedback?
The instructions are in your assignment. So in the files section, there's a file that says the assignment for January. Mm-hmm. It's January, right? It's February almost. So let me look and see what it's titled. It's just called EP assignment number 1. And so you'll see the instructions are on there. The email, who to email, how to email, what to say, what to title.
Where do we find that file?
It's so in the Facebook group at the top. At the top of the Facebook group, there's a bunch of tabs. Oh wait, I think actually it's on the left-hand side of the Facebook group. And files is one of those things.
Thank you.
You find it? Okay. All right, Amy and Mark.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Mark. We're in the Arctic Circle right now.
Yes.
But it's okay.
We have a couple questions, maybe more, but a couple to start out with. And the first one being, the first meeting with Brittany was really cool, and seeing people have songs that she liked and watching her expression was really cool, and hearing what she said was cool. But it kind of shook us a little because all of the music seemed to be of a certain style. And I would call that EDM or whatever. I don't even know what to call it because it's so far from what we do. Because we play real instruments and we have a real band and do that sort of stuff. And so
we're older.
Yeah. And we too have been making our living out of music for the last 10 years by playing in old folks' homes and stuff like that, and memory care units and stuff like that. And we produced now almost 8 albums. Our 8th one will finish, and we've done recordings. We've gotten radio play. We've had songs picked for a documentary. But we're wondering if we're in the right place, because what we've heard has not a whole lot to do with the type of music that we do, and maybe that's because we haven't listened to enough. So we're asking.
So this is what I would suggest. because there's lots of different room for different kinds of placement. So I'm not sure what kind of music you create, but there's so many different shows. It might not be ads that you're going to be excel in. You know, that might not be where you want to put your effort in making songs for ads. Maybe you want to look at what songs are placing in different television shows, because those really vary in sound depending on the genre of the show and depending on the era of the show. And there's a thing called Tune Find, which I think probably a lot of you guys have heard, have talked about it. Tune Find. I'd go on there and I'd go and listen to the different shows and see if any of those shows have songs that resonate with you and that have anything that, oh, I could hear my music in this show. Then you're in the right place, because then there's a place. And if you've had your stuff in documentaries, then there's a place for it. So I'd say find that and then see what kind of instruments are they using, what kind of lyrics. And so the stuff that you do, can you bring universal lyrics to that and make it even easier to pitch, so that if they're looking for sounds like yours, but you have music that has universal lyrics, you're going to win the other person that sounds kind of like you, but it's just too specific and they can't use it in that scene. So we definitely want you to be true to who you are and your sound, and also figure out how to hit the different markers that these people need in order to best place you.
So go ahead.
Do you work with licensing music for film? That's where I've always sort of.
Oh yeah, then there's film too. So then you would see like what films would your music work in, and that works for sure. And you know, there's so many different types of music. It's being used on the internet. It's being used for Instagram ads. It's being used for everything. So there's always a place for it. It just might not be your place being like the big, bold, fresh, cutting edge Google ad. You know, that just might not be what you're shooting for, and that's okay. But what you're shooting for is going to be like the cool film and going to have that great cut in there. So you just have to stay focused on what it is where you feel most authentic, and then start incorporating some of those other things that are important to have, like universal lyrics or having builds, having different things in your music that makes it easier to cut to picture.
And my second question is, Catch the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say of all of the songs that you guys pitch and license? What's the percentage of those that actually ever get taken? That ever get picked and ever make money out of a commercial or a TV show or a movie?
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. We're pitching all the time, and you can pitch like 20 searches that come in and hear back from one that's like, we're interested in this song. Can you get clearance on it and send them all the information that they need? And then they're like, the client went a different direction. So that can happen all the time. And so it's hard to say. I'd say that we look at it more like the artist rather than just the song. Like, is that song getting, it's like as artists as a whole, are they getting some traction? So maybe like they have 50 songs with us and they've only licensed one, but they're getting placements, or maybe they've licensed 2 or whatever it might be. We're not looking at like, are all those 50 songs getting work? So I don't actually really know what the percentage would be. I would worry about giving you a number because I don't know. But I would say like what I've seen is the people who keep doing the work and keep showing up start getting the placements. Like everybody who's been in those last classes with us, they're pitching their music. They have other licensing agents. They have Catch the Moon pitching for them. They've really expanded their reach and network, and they're getting placements. So it's also not just about having that music. It's about having it and making the connections and really hustling to make sure that it doesn't just get put aside somewhere.
Thank you. And then final, I'd like to say we've enjoyed all of you folks working with this, all of you people. You seem real sincere, and you seem like you're really honest and doing something. So we very much appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's really fun to meet all of you guys and have all this fresh energy and community that we get to build here together. Okay, there's like so many questions and we have 30 minutes left. So let's see what we can get through here. Alexis.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so my question is, I have two, but I'll be quick because I know there's a lot of people. So my question is, if I think other people were kind of saying this, but if you have more than one idea, how many songs can we submit? Like, can I submit 2 songs per project?
I need to see what she wrote as the instructions here.
Okay.
We've had different, what do the instructions say?
It has to be.
I guess I could just do 2 and then pick which one I think is better.
Usually in the past we've allowed 2, but because we have to list, you're not going to get feedback on both, right? We're just going to give feedback to one.
Right.
So I think you have to kind of decide which one you want the feedback on.
Okay.
At least for the assignment. And I'm trying to find it. If anybody has it in front of them, maybe they can see what it says. But yeah, we usually put a limit on it just because we're doing feedback to all of them. You can always submit both for them to listen to and just say pick one to get feedback on so that you know you're pitching both of them to us, but it's up to you. And then if anybody's reading the instructions, they can tell me. And if it's not in there, I'll find out.
Okay, and then my next question is, what level of, I guess, production does it need to be at when I submit it? Like, does it need to be, like, ready to be licensed at that point? Like, do you want to, if it's like...
it's up to you, actually. It's up to you. You could submit something that's not 100% ready to go. I think you want to get it as ready as possible, as you possibly can, because this is going to help you move into your EP, and like we want to get those done. But also this is a great time to get feedback before it's totally finalized, so that you can say, okay, these are a couple tweaks I'm going to make. You're not turning in your final version, but you're making it as much of the vision that you want it to be as you possibly can, so that you don't have much more work to do and you can work on the next one.
Okay, cool. Okay, actually I have one more, and it's, so whenever you see somebody within the group, you're saying that if you think that their songs are pitchable, like Catch the Moon just kind of starts working with them and pitching their songs as much as they think that it'll work for some of the licensing.
Catch the Moon isn't just going to start pitching people's songs. We might pick a few and we listen to them and say, oh my gosh, this is like killer and this is amazing. We could pitch this right now. But right now, that's not the goal. Right now, we're just going to be listening, giving feedback, helping you cultivate a really strong catalog, and then you guys will be able to start pitching them the second half of this class. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a couple of comments here. I'm like missing all the chat, so let's see. Let's see. Ken, I will come back. Is there a way to download the assignment? You could just copy and paste it off of the Facebook. Okay, let's see. We've got Olivia. Okay, Olivia, you're next. Olivia?
Sorry, I had to unmute and I was lost on my little computer screen here. Okay, so my question was just because you had posted one assignment and then you posted another assignment. And when I was reading the first one, I got so excited because I already have like the perfect song for that comedy show. And I've actually loved this song and I just haven't had anything to do with it because I hadn't gotten into the sync world yet. So I wanted to I'm still going to do the Let's Go assignment because I love to write and I'm going to keep writing all the songs and do all the assignments all the time, probably write too many. But can I still send that song that I had for that comedy show through you guys?
Let me find out. Hold on one second.
Hi, I'm on the group.
Oh no, I'm just finding out for it. I'm just gonna message Victoria.
Oh, I know. I was just talking to my best friend's sister. She just walked through the door.
Okay. I was like, I know you're here. Let me grab some water.
One of my main co-writers just walked in the door. So everybody say hi to Chris. You can't see her because it's dark.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Ah, there she is.
I hate when you like have to cough and it's like not happening and you just, or your eyes are watering. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Awesome. Yeah, I live here in Nashville. I record songs all the time with several different producers here, and one of them I just love. It's not the style that I normally release, so I hadn't released it, and I hadn't gotten to do anything with it. And then when I was reading through the description and listening to the reference song, my song was like perfect. I was like, oh my goodness! I went and re-listened to that song, and I was like, I really want to send this in because I think this is what they're looking for. So,
okay. Okay, so that search has been filled, and I guess they're not taking submissions for it.
Okay.
Let me just get a really clear answer on this.
Obviously, I'm going to keep the song Jeff through.
Okay. Just the Let's Go one right now they're accepting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But I'm sure that one will come up, and just know that like as you see searches, that one will work, because if it's worked for that, then it will work again.
Okay.
I do need a spoonful of cayenne pepper and honey. Thank you. I thought I was all better. I've been sick all week, and I'm like sick again. And what is this? And it's like coming on as we're talking. Okay, so let's move on. Or did you have another question, Olivia? Is that it?
That was it. That was my only question.
Okay. Vitamin C and zinc. Yes, I need that too. I need it all. Okay, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Okay, so it's going well. So my question is, as far as like song releasing, like through DistroKid or CD Baby or any of those, when you're an artist and let's say you've already released a song prior to licensing it, is that ever an issue, or is it only sometimes an issue if the company wants it to be, or like if you're exclusively with a licensing agent? Like if I released a song and I threw it up on Spotify last month, but then it matches the search and it gets licensed, is it going to be a problem that it's already been up?
No, not usually, especially not for indie artists. Like sometimes you'll see like unreleased songs they're looking for. And that's usually because it's like a big major artist. They're looking for that it's going to be something new and fresh. But if you're an indie artist and it's not like it's everywhere and it's already been played out, that usually won't matter to them.
Okay.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that that's a big problem.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Yes. Ryan.
Hello.
Yes, Ryan.
Hello.
Hello.
So my question was, do you have to write full songs, or can you, if you could fit a song in a minute, because adverts only last 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So if you can write a catchy song and arrange it for 1 minute, can you do that?
It's never preferred. They always want a full song. So that's a really great question because it comes up a lot. So take note, full song. So it doesn't mean like 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 45 seconds, so they really feel like they're getting a real song, and then they can cut what they want rather than you being like, here's your minute cut, I arranged it for you. You really want to have a full song. there's only very rarely might they ask you for 30 seconds, but it's like they still only want 30 seconds from a real song.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Ron.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you so much. This is so awesome. Learning so much as we're just getting started here. So, are you thinking for an ad, this particular assignment? This is going to be for an ad?
Yeah, I mean, this comes up a lot in ads. It also comes up in TV and film, and it could be something that it really works for a lot of things, depending on how you go with the music.
Okay. Are you thinking like something minimal or something really large, or do you not, can it be anything in between?
Yeah, it can really be what you feel is most great for where you're going to shine, what you're going to do and do best. So if you're going for an ad, it's going to be upbeat, it's going to have builds, it's going to have drops, it's going to be full. And I saw somebody say like they've seen some breakdown minimalistic ads too, which I'm speaking in generalizations. Like there definitely are also more sentimental and softer sided of ads. But if you're going for that and you're really going to go that direction, or if you're going to go for a montage scene in a television show and it's more sentimental and it's more breakdown, but there's still ebbs and flows and builds within that, then that's up to you. It's really like what you do and what you do very well.
And you're thinking like A, B, C kind of format?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking what there's so much room for interpretation. There's so much room for, I would say you want to have different parts. You want to have different sections, stuff that gets licensed. If they have, it's great if it's not just like the same thing over and over again, but it's like, oh, here's a new little cool section, and here's a build, and here's a breakdown, and here's this fun percussion area. Like having different things that you can cut picture to, and imagine being an editor and being like, oh, and I can use this here and I can use that here, and like this all works. All of this is great. So just keeping all of that in mind, and also knowing this is like your first song that you're doing in the class, and just go and just do and create, and then, you know, see what happens. And then the next one, you'll kind of work from there.
I've written songs for, you know, my whole life almost, but I'm really trying to like have a blank slate and sort of start from scratch, not try to like use my old material and sort of revamp it. But that is something that I could do, I imagine, because I see that if I had an intro, you know, on a certain song, that would really help, you know. So for a lot of people out there, I hear you asking questions like, maybe you could just tailor some of your material and add some of the elements that you guys are suggesting that make it more useful. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a songwriter and singer. If I go back, I'm like, I just keep hitting walls. It's like, you want to just start something fresh and new, you know, at least for me.
Yeah.
So, and I would kind of think like, you might want to try to do that too, and just get new inspiration and new people working on it, rather than going back to what's already there and like keep hitting your head against the wall.
Right.
At least for me, I'm like, ugh, can't even do it. Like,
I hear you.
you.
I'm excited to work with everyone. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
I just also, I saw somebody ask about universal lyrics. We did touch on it in the beginning, but I know not all of you maybe have a firm grasp of what that means. So, let's just talk about that for another second. Does anybody have any questions specifically as they pertain to universal lyrics? Type them in the chat. Intro should be short, Mary. And does anybody have any specific questions as they pertain to universal lyrics? No? Okay, universal lyric examples. Yes. So Let's Go is a great one. Here We Come, Best Days of Our Lives. I'm totally blanking. There's like 1,000 million. Like Home to Me. Home is a universal lyric. You can reinterpret that so many different ways. Happy day. Yeah, but like you might not want to actually use the words happy day, but like what are some of the ways you could say happy day, or like we're gonna rock this, or there is a universal lyric sheet that we have that also would I'm trying to think if I think that's in the curriculum. You guys should be able to download that too. But basically, universal lyric examples are something where you're not like Alabama 1972 with Sarah. It's very general and it's very open-ended, so that you are saying something without excluding the other people, and yet everybody can understand what you're saying. It's like it's getting hot in here. It's like that you know that song, it's like so old, but we still sing it sometimes when it's getting hot. You're like, oh my gosh, it's getting hot here, and then everybody sings along. It's like it applies all the time. Everybody can relate to that. It doesn't really make sense, yet it's fun, and that's just like something that everybody can kind of get behind. Everything in the entire lyric should be like that? No, not everything. You could that should be your hook. Something that's like your main thing that they can play in the picture, and that really works. So your verse can be like way more specific. Your verse can tell the story. Your verse can get into the details of it. And that your hook, the chorus part, is where you really get general and broad, and you just draw this big paintbrush stroke that is just like a big rainbow that incorporates the entire world and everybody's kumbaya. Okay. I want to try to go down the rest of this list here, or at least try my hardest here. So we're at Justin.
Hello, Sonnet.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my question is kind of like just in overall, I have a question about, I've got about 20 songs that I've already recorded with about 15 different musicians over the last 8 years, that, not to say they're all going to be perfect, but let's say one of them was, I want to make sure that I have the contracts ready to go. And I never got a work for hire with any of the musicians. A lot of the musicians played for free. Some of them I paid $100 to record on the track. What do I do now? Do I have to go back to all of them and get a letter of acknowledgement? What are the proper forms that I need to get to get those songs clear?
If you think that it's going to be an issue, you could do simply as an email and shoot them all an email and be like, this is just to acknowledge, like, can you send me back that you acknowledge that this is the deal we have? That this, like, you don't have to necessarily send them paperwork where they're going to they're going to take forever to sign it or whatever. The best thing to do moving forward is have that paperwork with you in the room when you're there, or send it to them via email right after the fact. But when you come back a couple years later and you're like, I'm not a lawyer, so this is what I would do. I would send them an email as a statement of understanding that this was a work for hire. You paid them $100, that they understand they own no piece of it. And can they acknowledge that this is, that they understand all of this? Or you can just send them a work for hire agreement and have them sign it and just have it sent back to you. And it's like, just to make sure it's all taken care of. Okay. It's up to you. I mean, how you feel, those sort of things. If you're going to be pitching it and you're going to be making money on it, it's one of those things where if you got a really big placement and somebody was playing guitar and they were like, oh, you always said you were going to pay me backhand on that, and you were like, I didn't, then you want to just have it taken care of.
Okay. And then also signing up, there was, and I know somebody else asked this in the chat, but there was the incentives for signing up early. You can get either how to start a licensing company, or you can get a song listening session. How do we get those?
Victoria is going to be sending all of that information out.
Cool.
Yeah. So the back end clerical side of it all, she's going to be giving you guys all of that information. And if you have questions about it, post it on the chat so she can also, or on the Facebook group, so she can directly make sure that she's answering your questions. And I'll also remind her if that hasn't been addressed. But I know she's working on putting all those together for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
There's a boilerplate contract in the curriculum, by the way. Under
the split sheet? I saw the split sheet and the work for hire sheet, and I downloaded those.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Okay, Katie. Katie? You just have to unmute her probably. Where is she?
I do it?
Oh yeah, there you are. Hi.
Hey, hi. Can't see myself, but I guess you guys can. Okay. So my question is on this assignment. I feel like I usually write music a little differently for usually like different circumstances. But I've worked with co-writes before, but I usually like meet them first. And so I'm not quite sure of my co-write style, and I'm excited to jump in, but I did this brain dump thing that was suggested. And so now I feel like I'm splitting in my mind between like an iPod commercial style of like really rock and roll, or like the, you know, poppy Target commercial kind of style, like that see around round kind of thing. So anyway, and I feel like I don't want to like fall in the middle because I'm trying to do both. So I guess that's my question, is that I'm confused.
How to like navigate both of those things, or how to like, I mean, I think from what you're saying, like I don't have the answer on how you specifically will do it, because everybody has a different way of kind of figuring out what they're going to take in and move forward with, and how they're going to grow. And I would just offer that this is the beginning of a road, like a new road. You've been writing for years, everybody, but a new road, and to like give yourself the ability to experiment with it. Does that help? Because I feel like I don't know if I can help you figure out how to balance it.
I mean, maybe, I guess, because I don't know what it's specifically for, you know, which I guess it's universal. So, you know, in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can make it like this, and that can make it Christmassy, and then it would work for Christmas. And then I was like, no, wait, but it could be summery. And so, you know, there's different musical styles.
Okay, totally. I think something to keep in mind is like, understand what your story is for each one. Why are you writing this song? Because a lot of time we're like, I'm just going to try to write for everybody's need and hit everything that I possibly can. It's going to be Target detergent, ad for cars, and it's going to be for TV, and it's going to be everything all in one, and then it's for nobody. So what is this the key is to figure out, what are you trying to say? What is your story here? How you relate it, just as you would write any other song. And how can you say let's go, or what situation would you be in? Who would you be with? Who are you talking to, or who's talking to you? And write it from that perspective, so you can keep really clear on your story the whole time.
Oh, that's really, okay. That's an excellent answer. So
okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
About the elements than the story. Yeah.
Right. It's like we get into that, we can do it all, and then we can do nothing, right? And it's okay to not be able to do it all. It's okay to be like, this is my story, this is my song, just like this is your EP you're writing, you know, this is like, it's going to represent you, and it's going to have this theme in that song. Okay, we have time for a few more here. Peter. Peter has to unmute himself probably. Trying to find you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hi. Music's a little bit loud, so I'll try to make it clear. Basically, I can push it up here, so I know that I'm kind of starting that end of it.
Can't hear you.
Can I type it?
Yeah, type. Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, let's go to the next one while he's typing. Michael.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Awesome. Thanks so much for all this. I'm loving it. The morning pages has already changed my life in the way I've never been able to journal, and already learned some really cool things. So that's a sweet exercise.
Yay.
A couple quick questions. I was just curious, so in your experience and with what you've done, have you ever come up in a situation where you've been given a placement opportunity that maybe ethically you didn't line up with?
No, but I've heard stories that people have.
Is that
I don't have.
something that you hash out ahead of time, or like, like I just maybe wouldn't go for this kind of thing, or just a purpose,
I mean, like if a license comes in and somebody's like, we want to license this song for such and such amount, I go to the artist and I say, do you approve this amount and this license? So they have the ability to say, no, we don't. We prefer that people it's like, obviously we don't want you to put your music to something that you don't believe in, or something that isn't going to be. I could think of a few things where I would be like, I don't want to represent that, so
or a particular scene or something.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a little bit harder because they're not always giving us all that information.
For sure.
But you could also be really clear about it if you have specific things in your mind about where you draw the line.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In terms of the live events, how often do those happen? Like the ones
we've been doing them like twice a year, but it's like we've been changing them all the time. So we used to do them like every month. They were really small. Then we did them twice a year. They were bigger. Now we're doing like even bigger. So I don't know. I think it's going to be like twice a year probably.
Okay. And last very quick one. In your experience and what you've done in this, what's been your biggest personal challenge with working in sync?
I think when I first got started in sync, I did it accidentally. It wasn't on somebody heard me sing and they were like, oh, put your song, blah, blah. It got placed. And I just thought it was like that. I was like, oh, cool. That's how it works then. It's like, you don't have to hustle. People find you. You don't have to work really hard. And I wish that I'd gone back and like, I didn't understand all the, I just was writing in this universal place, right? So I wish that I'd like gone back and reverse engineered it. And it wasn't until like I started doing that I started seeing more traction. Because I think that my biggest hurdle was probably like not really understanding the ins and outs of the business in the beginning and kind of being like, like all artists, we're kind of just like, oh, I don't know, I'm just writing my music. I'm just trying to do my thing. And then all of a sudden you get serious about it. You're like, okay, but what's going to work? And it wasn't until I started doing that where I was like, okay, now I see like there's a system and there's a network and there are people who are making decisions and who are those people and how can I meet them and all of that.
Awesome. Great.
Okay, let me go back to Peter's question. It looks like somebody answered. I can help you with that. It's easier than it seems, but choose one that's best for you. Okay, let's see what his questions are. So I have a question about PROs. How do we go about getting signed up with one? Do you have any preferences for which one? And what does the process look like? Okay. It's really a personal decision. Everybody has a different preference and also they're always changing. So I feel like I'm with ASCAP and then BMI like has all these great things that they're doing now. And then people love to be on CSAC, but you have to be invited to CSAC. And so you just have to kind of pick one. And I'd say, look at their roster. What kind of musicians do they that best fit like what you're doing that they have? And I think one of the biggest things also is like, can you connect with somebody there in the offices or have a personal relationship with somebody who's going to advocate for you? Because whether that's going to be at ASCAP or BMI, that's going to be the most important thing to have. I have BMI and I signed up for the free website. Okay. So in terms of the process, you would just go through the process online, and I'm sure there's people who can take you through that. It's been a while since I've actually signed up, and I am not familiar with BMI signing up, but it's really just like you got to go through the processes and everything. And somebody said they could help you through that, which is Katie. Okay. Is that good? Enough? Is that helpful? Okay. Looks like you've got a lot of people here who want to talk about it. So yeah, great. This is great stuff for the call. I mean, the blah, 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 Facebook page. Okay. This is my last question, Nita. We're going to go with Nita. And then you guys post your questions on the Facebook group. And before I forget, also, we are doing introductory videos. So everybody on this call, which was 80 people, and anybody else who watches it, we're going to do an introductory video, go on Facebook Live, be like, hi, I'm da-da-da, I do this, I write this, I sing this, here's a link to my music, I'm looking to work with people who are blah, blah, blah. and something really awesome about who you are, or vulnerable about who you are, and your favorite candy or whatever it is you want to share. Okay. Nietzsche, go ahead.
Hey, Sonnet.
Hi.
Hey, hi. So I wanted to just ask if you guys give any feedback on when we start writing and submitting our songs, if you might say like, hey, you'd be really great for this type of show or thing, or like give some specific feedback on where we should kind of aim our, because I feel like we all have a signature style, but like it's hard for me to, I don't even know, like, should I be submitting for ads or TV shows or film, or what type of shows?
So no, we're probably not going to give you that feedback, but what we will do is keep pushing you guys to do the research to figure that out for yourselves. And so that's like going on TuneFind and seeing what shows have music like yours, watching the commercials and watching the Music Monday breakdown, and figuring out like, is that my sound, or could that be a version of my sound, or that's never going to be something that I want to create. And there's a lot of places you can go and research and see where you fit and where you don't, and what aligns with you and what doesn't, and where are you willing to kind of like push your boundaries and where are you not. Yeah. And you have a year to explore that. Awesome. Okay, so I am going to sign off. I will see you guys next week. Post your videos. I'm so excited for those. I feel like that changes everything and really helps people feel the community and feel like, you know, who's out there for you and you're not alone in all of this. And I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, Sonnet.
Oh, yeah.
I think we posted a couple things. The universal lyric sheet isn't where it's supposed to be on the
it's not what?
It's not posted on the learning thing. So I don't know if you could.
Oh, okay. I will post the universal lyric to the Facebook page.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to do that right now. Bye.